One of the most beloved traditions in New England is the Fall Fair. Many began as agricultural shows, where local farmers could exhibit their livestock and view the latest farming equipment being sold, all while partaking in various forms of entertainment and local foods. In many ways, fairs haven't changed all that much in form, and since 1942, the North Haven Fair has been offering exhibits entered by the community, live music, exciting entertainment, including tractor pulls, and of course, great fair food. Joining us today is Gene Lewis of the North Haven Fair Association to talk about the impact fairs have on Connecticut. The Municipal Voice is the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities podcast in collaboration with WNHH LP 103.5 FM. I'm your host, Matt Ford. As always, be sure to give us a like and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. CCM's Municipal Voice podcast continues to present a key forum on important state-local issues. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect the consensus views of CCM or member municipal leaders. Gene, thanks for joining us today.
Nice to be here.
So tell us, first of all, how you initially got involved with the fair. Did you start as a volunteer and work your way up to being on the board? How does that all work?
So I've been attending the fair since I moved to Connecticut. I'm not a native of Connecticut, with my family. And I actually got involved through Scouts. The Scout unit that I was working with got involved doing some of the recycle and the trash for the fair. And next thing I knew, I was judging cookies in the cookie department. And little by little, here I am all these years later. And it's not even been that many. It's about 15 years later on the board of directors, trying to bring the agriculture, the farm, the family, the fun, the entertainment, and all of that to all of the neighboring communities.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned, the volunteers and starting with the Boy Scouts. How important is volunteer work to putting on the fair?
The fair runs on volunteers. We don't have a paid staff. Everybody that comes down here is a volunteer. We have one person on maintenance. That's it.
Okay.
Everybody else is a volunteer. They come down, they bring their ideas, they bring their time, their talent, and help us bring all of this to life for people in the community.
And if someone wanted to volunteer for, at this point, probably next year,
this year.
They can help this year even. Okay.
Oh,
so
yes.
if someone wants to help out and volunteer with the fair, how do they find out? How do they contact?
So we have a section on our website. Our website's www.northaven-fair.
Okay.
There is a section there for volunteers. We do have volunteer days. We have volunteer night to night from 5:30 to 8, and then we have a volunteer day for Saturday from 10 to 4. We do provide lunch to come down. Oh yes, absolutely. We have our resident chef comes in and cooks lunch for everybody. And come down. We have a ton of things to do. We're always looking for people with different talents to bring new ideas or new projects to the fairgrounds. They've been around for a long time, and as time goes on, the fairgrounds age.
And is that need for volunteers only in like August, September, or is there stuff happening the rest of the year?
Year round.
So if someone wants to participate, there's something else going on. Oh, that's good to know.
Yep. Year round. We're always doing projects. Once the fair ends on Sunday, we'll be starting to plan for next year on Monday, if not before.
That's what one thing I was going to ask is how soon do you start on next year?
So, we've already to a point started planning for next year, only because there are certain acts that come back every year. So we renew them right off the bat before the fair's even over.
The good ones you got to book right away because there's lots of competition this time of year, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
How important is the fair to North Haven, and the greater area? Does it contribute to the economy of North Haven?
It's an understatement. So the North Haven Fair has been here since 1942. We started over on Broadway, and we moved to this location on Washington Avenue in 1943. And we've been here since. So it truly is a family tradition. There's a family, all grown adults that compete every year in the cookie. They pick a cookie that they're all going to bake, and they win bragging rights and a blue ribbon as to who got judged the best cookie. This year they're doing chocolate chip cookies.
And does it change year to year, or does one person always kind of win in that family?
Oh no, it changes year to year.
So there is actual competition. Mom doesn't always win.
Absolutely. And they're adults, they have kids and grandkids, right? And they compete against one another to see who gets the blue ribbon for their cookies. And that's the same with a number of other families that have been doing this for years. They compete on the best cake, or they compete on the biggest pumpkin or the
Hmm.
best flower arrangement. And they've been doing it for years. In terms of the impact on the economy, think about this, right? We're surrounded by obviously the businesses right here in North Haven,
Hmm.
as well as New Haven, Wallingford, Meriden, and being one of 40 some odd fairs here in Connecticut, we draw a lot of people from all
Yeah.
over the state, from Massachusetts, New Jersey, Rhode Island as well. Um, we have, for instance, the truck and tractor pulls that are on Friday night. A
Hmm.
lot of the, or a number of the truck and tractor pull drivers will be coming from out of state, Massachusetts, Vermont, Rhode Island, to pull their tractor and pull their truck.
And do
And
those out-of-state competitors bring a out-of-state little bit of out-of-state fan base with them? Do they have
absolutely,
groupies and?
absolutely, absolutely. They bring their fan base, they bring their families, they bring those that want to watch to see, okay, when they now compete in their local hometown, what do I need to do to make my tractor or my truck stronger to beat that guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of healthy competition across the various states with the trucks and tractor pulls.
Very cool. And what sort of attendance do you get for the fair? Like how many people do come in an average year?
That average actually varies, right? From
Hmm.
anywhere from say 15,000 to about 30,000 a year.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. And that's kind of over the span of the fair, right? Like with everything, it ebbs and flows,
Hmm.
based on the economy, based on, what type of entertainment and whatnot we bring in,
So if you have a big
based on the
star one
weather.
year, you might have more people or the good weather.
Correct.
So
Correct.
has been over 80 years at this point. Has there ever missed a year?
COVID,
COVID, so 2020,
2020. Yep.
but that's the
It's
only
the
one, huh?
it's the only one. So we persevered through the wars and everything else over the years. Yeah.
But 2020 was 2021 a bigger year, a smaller year then coming back?
I believe it was definitely better than where we had been in 2019.
Mm,
But if you think about where we were in 2021 from a COVID perspective,
yeah,
we were still a little anxious.
people were still nervous. Yeah.
Yep. And things increased a little bit in 2022, and we'll see
Hmm.
how things go now in 2023.
Hopefully that
Um,
continued growth year over year. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Do you
And
know, like what was your record breaking year for attendance?
oh, that I don't know. I'd have
Yeah.
to go back through the history books and try and get that information for you. But it
Some year when
truly
there
is
was
a
a good act. Yeah.
mainstay, it's a mainstay of the town,
Yeah. And
families come here, not only to compete in cookies and compete in other ways, grandparents bring their grandkids here now.
yeah.
Somebody was telling the story the other day. We have a whole area of kids games and they're all free. Toss
Well, that's
the
cool.
ring over the nose and throw the ball in the basket. But the big one is hula hoops. And
Hmm.
some of the kids that were 5, 6, 7 coming in and learning to do the hula hoop are now in
Yeah.
high school and college and they come back and do the hula hoop.
Oh, that's very cool.
So there are certain things that people want to see and they come back year and year after year for it.
That's neat.
The tradition.
Yeah. So you're not going to be the only fair around that weekend, or certainly this season. Do you
Correct.
talk to other agricultural fairs in the state? Do you share like tips and tricks with them, or just war stories, or?
Unfair question. So within Connecticut, there's what's called the Association of Connecticut Fairs.
Hmm.
And I'm part of that. All of the fairs are part of that. And there are
Hmm.
40 some odd fairs here in Connecticut. And yes, we do get together. We have 2 meetings a year where all of the fairs attend
Okay.
and share tips and advertising. You see the fair brochure that comes out. That's a culmination of what
Hmm.
happens at the association. There's the ct.ag website that's got all of the fairs listed there. There's statewide competition. So all of the
Okay.
fairs have an adult baking competition, a quilting competition, and a junior baking
Hmm.
competition. They select an adult and a junior recipe, and everybody bakes the same thing around the state. And then you compete at the state level.
Oh, wow.
The same with quilting. There's hand quilting and applique quilting. There's a number of different categories. You win at your fair, you then compete at the state level. And then there's the infamous apple pie baking
Hmm.
contest that everybody bakes a 2-crusted apple pie across the state and may the
Yep.
best apple pie win. So there's absolutely camaraderie across the state with all of
Hmm.
the different fairs. Even though there are 2 or 3 fairs the same weekend as we are, they're different fairs. One's out in Bethlehem, one's out in Hebron, and one's up in Wapping, up in Windsor. And each brings something different. Each is in a
Yeah.
different area of the state, and each has a different approach, not approach, but has different things at their fair.
Do they specialize in, or they have the best competitors for, or something?
No, they're just a different feel based
Yeah.
on where they're located. And, think about where the North Haven Fair is located. You're in New Haven, we're
Mm-hmm.
right down the road. Bethlehem's way out,
Mm-hmm.
Hebron's way out, Wapping's way out. So we're separated, but it's definitely a different demographic across the areas.
This is very interesting.
Oh yeah.
So you talked about all the different areas of competition that you have. How do you go about organizing that? Like, how do you find the judges? What goes into organizing like the different areas?
Wow,
Easy
that's a
question.
loaded question. I'm sorry. So, our fair, like all of the fairs, have either a fair book or an exhibition guide. You can either find them online at the respective fair websites, or they actually print one. I have mine. Here's ours right here.
Okay, that's what it looks like this year.
Yep, there's our book. And in there are all the different categories that you can enter into,
Okay.
adult and junior, photography, arts and crafts, flowers, fruits and vegetables, canning, cookies, cakes, knitting, crocheting, sewing, woodworking, painting. I mean, there's something in those exhibitions for pretty much everybody. So the fair book goes out either in print, or you can actually access it right online on our website. You fill in your little application and it gets submitted in, and then there are specific days and times when you bring your entries in. And there are some people that bring in 15, 20, 30, 40 different entries across
Different categories. Wow. Okay.
Yep, absolutely. If you think of somebody that has a lot of different hobbies, you could be making a woodworking over here and knitting over there, but you like to bake, so you bring in your cakes and your cookies, but you also have a garden, so you bring in your fruits, your vegetables, and your flowers.
That's very cool.
We have superintendents that handle every one of those departments. This year it's kind of exciting. We have a number of new superintendents that are students. They're students here at North Haven High. This will be their first year doing it. So it's exciting. I'm excited for the group of students that are going to come in and they're going to run the departments.
And is that part of a project at the school? Like, is that through the school?
No.
They're just
yes
volunteers.
and no. Okay. Yes and no. They came in as volunteers 2 years ago to do their service hours, and they haven't looked back. They've been here on and off all summer, and I'm like, hey, what do you think about doing this?
Yeah.
And so there's a group of them that are going to take over. One's taking over, I think, junior cakes maybe, and one in adult arts and crafts, and another two, I think, in knitting and crocheting or something. I don't remember exactly where, but yeah. So to me, that's really exciting to have the youth come in and get involved.
Board members of the future, it sounds like.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so, because they bring in really good ideas,
Yeah.
Part of the challenge for us here in North Haven at the North Haven Fair is really two challenges, right? What's your demographic? You've got your grandparents and the families, but you also want the youth to come, and they look at things very, very differently. Your grandparents still want to see some of the old farm equipment.
Yep.
But we would like the youth to learn about that old farm equipment. And we're also, if you think about it, we're surrounded by urban areas. All the other fairs in Connecticut are surrounded by farmland.
Yeah.
Think of Durham, think of Brooklyn, think of, they're all way surrounded by, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not. So we're in a unique situation to try and bridge that youth gap and also bridge that urban gap.
You are listening to the Municipal Voice on WNHH 103.5 FM. So you're an agricultural fair, so you want to have activities like the horse pull and whatever, but you also want to have other things to draw people in. And I was looking at your website. You have a lot of fun activities going on. One that caught my eye that I think might be part of this kind of difference by being down here is the Lucha Libre wrestling.
Yep, the wrestling.
Which is the Mexican style wrestling. Which
it is
flair and excitement and all that kind of stuff, and is not oxbow, but is also going to attract
it's going to attract a different demographic.
Yeah.
We're hoping to have also a Mexican rodeo, but I wouldn't put that out there yet because none of that's confirmed. But there are rodeos that occur down here, usually on a monthly basis. That a group out of New York, one of the bigger rodeo companies, come in and they have a kind of fiesta here with the rodeos and the music and the best tacos you're ever going to have.
Yeah.
So we are expanding because of our demographic. Our demographic is, again, very different than, say, the Brooklyns and the Bridgewater fairs and everybody else.
Yeah. Do you have a personal favorite event that's going on at the fair, or entertainment?
No, I don't think that I do, because
Yeah.
there's so much new this year. The Demolition Derby is new this year.
Okay.
On Thursday nights. It's something we've been wanting to do for a long time. The tractor and truck pulls, that whole arena that we have in the back where the tractor and truck pulls, is relatively new. It's only 3, 4
Okay.
years old. So that's a whole new venue. We've got some really cool entertainment on the main stage. We've got a local band out of Hamden called Trainwreck that are a lot of fun. We've got the Stiletto, which is a Billy Joel tribute band.
Oh, fun.
We've got an enchanted dance party with a DJ for the kids, so the kids can learn to do all the line dancing. We've got family Zumba. We've got family yoga, sorry. We've got country line dancing
Okay.
lessons. Just a whole gamut of different things. We'll have hula hoop competitions. We'll have the wee pigs are coming, so the pig races will be
Running
here.
around.
So
Okay.
yeah, so there's fun really for everybody. We've got Robert Clark, who's a magician and a juggler that's been here for a
Cool.
long, long time and is just a mainstay, and we love him.
Yeah.
There's a lot. We've got a
Yeah.
lot.
You mentioned sounds like there's some new facilities in the last couple of years, some new areas
So we have
and
a new
improvements.
arena.
Okay.
Oh yeah. We've moved a lot of things around here to expand and be able to give us the arena out in the back. That caused us to shift things around.
Okay. So if you haven't been in a few years, it could look very different this year.
Well, our tagline for this year, if you haven't been to the North Haven Fair recently, you haven't been to the North Haven Fair.
Okay.
You're going to walk on the grounds in the facility and you're going to walk around and say, holy cow.
Look at all the new
Lots of
things that are happening.
changes. Oh yeah. We've got a brand new farm museum opening, which I'm really excited about. It hasn't been open in a number of years. So we've got a whole farm museum. We've got a progressive garden going on over there. How to take things that are easily found, like cinder blocks, and make a garden. Chunks of concrete, rock gardens, tires, pallets.
Environmentally conscious.
Yep.
Gardening and.
Yep, we'll have composting over there, different ways of composting. Hopefully, our water collection system will work, and we're working on that. So a lot of things that, if you're a farmer, would probably be kind of new to you, not new to you, but if you're coming in out of where you've only got a small plot of land and you don't want to buy the wood to make the raised flower beds, use concrete blocks.
Yeah.
And build your flower bed, and you can still grow in it.
Yeah, and bring in maybe some demographics with the entertainment. You're still that tied to the agricultural fair by doing the agriculture. That's really, really cool stuff.
It's unique.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned that there's opportunities to volunteer year round, and I saw something on the website about Winterfest. What are some of the other things that happen outside of the fair, the September fair?
So you brought up the Winterfest. The Winterfest is a fabulous, fabulous event. It's the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend. Santa comes in on the fire truck. There are vendors, and entry to get in is bring a donation to the local community's food bank. All of the proceeds from that, the proceeds and all the donations all go down to the North Haven Community Services Food Bank and holiday bank that they have down there. We have vendors, we have kids game. Like I said, Santa comes in, and we grow on this every year. We have hay rides, free hay rides you can get on, and some people have come and they're going, never been on a hay ride before. What's this like? And we have a tractor through G&H Equipment. Gerard Aldenoff comes in and takes people on a tour around the whole entire fairgrounds of the grounds, but the hayride with the Christmas lights, and it's fun, and we keep growing on that a little bit every year. The other event that we have is the beginning of June every year to kick off fair season in Connecticut, and that's the Fair Food Festival.
Okay.
And that'll be in 2024. I think the dates are June 1st and 2nd, the first Saturday, Sunday in June. And it's all fair food.
Okay.
because fair food it's a little different than a food truck.
Okay.
So the food vendors, the fair food vendors come in. So you'll get your fried dough, and you'll get your fresh cut potato French
Okay.
fries. You get um
Deep fried Oreo.
deep fried Oreo. Yeah, absolutely. Kettle corn, the things that you would find at the fair.
Okay, so
And
not
that's
necessarily the gourmet Korean taco food truck, which is also delicious, but not traditional
there's a
fare.
mix. We have a
Okay.
mix. We have here at the fair, for instance, we have a really good Mexican food truck, taco truck called Holy Guacamole that comes in.
Hmm.
So they'll be at the Fair Food Festival because they're part of us,
Yeah.
They've been with us for a number of years and they'll be part of it. So there's a mix of the gourmet food trucks and the fair food vendors,
So something for everybody, really.
Yeah. And little by little, we're growing that event as well. It's been, this will be our fourth year going into 2024. So that's exciting.
That is exciting. But
Yep.
of course,
We brought some low key entertainment activities for the kids,
mhm,
pony rides and the like.
that's very cool. But of course, those are all side events because the main event is coming up.
The
It is
fair, yes.
September 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th
Correct.
at the North Haven Fairgrounds, right?
Right. Exit 12 off of Route 91. We're literally right off the exit.
Easy to find.
290, easy to find, easy to get to. Parking is free.
Okay.
The demolition derby is free with admission to the fair.
Hmm.
Pretty much all of our entertainment is free with
Is
with
included with the
admission
fair.
to the fair. Yes, it
Great.
is.
And if people want to find more information, they can check out the website where?
www.northaven-fair.com. And all the entertainment and information is out there.
The whole schedule.
So I just want to hit one topic if I can
Oh,
really
yeah,
quickly, Matt.
sure.
One of our biggest goals, or one of my biggest goals for the fair is to bridge that bring the agriculture into the urban environments. And
Hmm.
so those people that are out there and want to volunteer and have ideas how we can bridge that, we want to make sure that people understand that eggs come from Stop and Shop, yes, but where
Hmm.
do they get them before then?
Yeah.
We've had a joke around here where people have put eggs in the rabbit cages. So there are people that actually believe that the rabbits lay the eggs on the farm here. They don't, clearly. But really we're looking
Yeah.
to try and bring some of what we have to offer here in terms of agriculture and
Hmm.
education and bring it more out of the immediate community and bring it into those that may not know a lot
Hmm.
about agriculture, or those that want to try and have their own little garden, or even if they only have a porch or a patio, how
Hmm.
can we teach them to grow some things right there on the deck?
Yeah. So maybe come for the entertainment and fried dough, but you might leave with a little bit more knowledge and appreciation for agriculture in Connecticut.
Absolutely.
Jean, thank you so much for speaking with us on the show today. We really appreciate it. We'd like to thank our guest, Jean Lewis from the North Haven Fair. We'd like to thank our sponsors at Gateway Community College and Housatonic Community College. Learn more at gatewayct.edu and housatonic.edu. The Municipal Voice is a co-production by CCM and WNHH 103.5 FM. Christopher Gilson is our producer. Harry Draws is on the boards, and I'm Matt Ford, your host. Be sure to check out our Facebook page and give us a like, and watch out for our CCM chat series on our YouTube page.